Welcome to the video about email 2, which is the second invite email in Jenna Kutcher's webinar invite series. Just again, a reminder that these emails don't have to be used in order or don't have to only be used to invite to a webinar or event. They can be used, parts of these emails can be used however you see fit in your business. So let's get started with invite 2. So the subject line here. Name, always a great way to start with name. It gets people's attention. So that merge tag, that personalization field, whatever your platform calls it. What if you could 40x your profits? So we have that personalized field to grab attention, a what if statement, which is always good, and then a measured result and a desirable result. So who doesn't want to 40x their profits, right? Everyone does. But make sure that it's measurable and it's something you can actually fulfill. Don't just, make it up. So starting with the email here, there's no formal, hey Hannah or hey friend or anything like that. Just goes with, there I was, thumbing through my email inbox, chuckling and nodding along as I read a few newsletters, drinking my chai lemon water, you should try it, and I kept thinking about you. So here we are bringing up it's a one sentence story, right? We're getting to picture Jenna reading her email inbox, which is like pretty much she's doing in this instance what you would want your audience to be doing, right? You would want them to be reading some newsletters, right? Reading hopefully your newsletter. So we're just kind of trying to work our way back to the topic of the email, right? Oftentimes, I'll be honest, this might be easiest to write last because it's not always obvious, the connection, right? Sometimes you might have this as an idea to start with, right? Like she might have actually been sitting drinking her lemon water and reading newsletters. That might have actually happened. Or this might have been written as a hook for the rest of the email. You see what I'm saying? So just don't get stressed out if you can't come up with like a one sentence thing right away. Put some ideas over here, come back to it. All right. This can be written last. Oftentimes that's how it is for me. So, so she kept thinking about you, right? My concern, bold, bigger text, right? You might not be using your email list to its fullest potential. We're bringing up that problem, that pain point related to the topic. Or worse, you don't even have an email list yet. Gulp, right? So we're calling out those people that she really wants to sign up. We're calling out a pain problem that they have, right? You're not using your email list to your fullest potential. I can tell you as an email marketing specialist, most people are not. So this is a perfect thing, a perfect pain point to delve into. Then we're going to bring up the event again, right? And the details. My free live class from 0 subscribers or 0 strategy to an engaged email list that lasts is coming up real quick. And honestly, I couldn't be more excited. There are 3 live sessions to fit your busy schedule, but fair warning, if you haven't saved the date to come train with me, you should do it ASAP before we hit the software cap. So here we are, we're bringing up the event, the details again, like I said, and adding urgency by mentioning there's limited spots. Don't do this if it isn't true though, okay? So I actually just happen to know that with the software she's using, there is a cap on how many people can be allowed in. That does exist. I'm sure we've all been in a webinar on Zoom that you get locked out of, right? So that does exist. But if it's not, if it's a live session, if it's a replay of something, like don't say that there's limited seats if there's not, okay? Just don't do it. Then we have a bigger text here, bigger font. Grab a seat in class with just one click at the time that works best for you. So I talked about this in the other videos, but this is a super easy one click. You literally do nothing else. You don't have to put your name in. You don't have to put your email address. This will convert the best if you can do this. Okay, one click, fewest steps as possible is always going to convert better. So after the buttons we have, this is one of those times I get to talk nerdy about something I know can make a difference in the future of your business. Growing a business is much easier and way more fun when you're not wrestling with an algorithm that consistently throws you off your results on the reg. So here we're calling out a common problem with social media, right? Oh, the algorithm's always changing, blah, 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 blah. When you're relying on a constantly evolving platform you don't own, again, another problem with social media, right? You don't own that. They could block you. Your account could get hacked, right? And when you reach people directly without getting booted from their feed, another common problem with social media. So we're talking about pain points that they're facing with something that they're already using, and we're trying to build up why they should use, why this other method is better and solves those problems, right? And here it is right here in this line. Serving an email list knocks out that frustration like a champ. So already we're proposing an email list as a solution to all these frustrations that we just listed, right? These are super relatable. All of us here can, pretty much every entrepreneur's been on social media, right? So everyone can relate to that. And here we're already saying, like, email lists have an industry standard of 96 to 100% deliverability, which means your ideal customer's eyeballs actually land on the content you work so hard to create. So using data to support when possible. If you don't have the data, don't worry about it. But here, this is true, right? You can look up this stat about deliverability and use that to help build your case. Numbers, it's always, always a good idea when you can to have hard numbers. So then here she says, just give me 1 hour and I'll help you. And here we have more bullet points like we did in email 1. They're different, which is good. So we're talking here about takeaways, measurable benefits of like what they will get, right? You will understand why email marketing gives you a way better ROI than any other platform, helping you spend your time with clarity and confidence. So you just want to make these bullet points really speak to the person reading it about the benefits. Learn my secret strategy to create once and serve for a long time, addressing those common concerns that people have about email lists, again, time, I don't know what to, strategy, and a better ROI. Seriously, by the end of the webinar, for free. And so then she has the CTA button at the bottom, right? So, I'm in, blah, blah, blah. So this is the CTA button at the end of this. It's always good to, like, after you hit them with a lot of good stuff about your takeaways, your outcomes, anything like that, always have a CTA button. Always have a CTA at the very end too. Email is the tool and strategy that changed my life and business, and that's not an exaggeration. That's a bold statement about how what she's going to teach you about really benefited herself personally. So how is what you're going to teach about, how has it benefited you personally? Or if it hasn't benefited you personally, it might be how it's benefited others directly, right? If you're a coach, maybe you say, this is where social proof is something that you could bring in as a way to build your credibility here. And then again, this final CTA at the end, grab your seat in class before the fun begins. Your email obsessed BFF, Jenna. So having multiple CTAs throughout is always a really good thing. You want them all going to the same place, all asking them to do the same thing, but just, people get to different points in the email at different times. So in email 1, we had that click right at the top underneath the countdown timer. Here we don't have a countdown timer. This is a little more inconspicuous. It's not saying, hey, sign up for this right now, right? It's saying, hey, it's leading you into it a little more with this little story, and oh yeah, don't forget about my class. Okay, so that's email 2. Go ahead and go through this again, and here's where you put your amazing copy. Make sure you just hit make a copy here so that you can edit the document and start to write your email. Good luck.